Yes, it's cold out here, but nonetheless, nature is still interesting in the wintertime. This tree right here, I call the twins. The other name is Gemini. Closer look. And it splits off. These look like winter berries. And if you can see, there's a whole bush. This is wonderful food for the birds in winter, and they give a pop of color to the forest. It looks so pretty. Wow. This is an old pine tree that's come down, and this fascinating thing has grown on it. The trees come down probably a very long time ago, but nonetheless, it still is beautiful with all this gorgeous moss all over it. Check this out. This is some kind of jelly fungus. I've never seen one this bright. It's like a flame of fall colors here. The texture's pretty neat. I heard that you can put these in soup, the black ones. Very strange. Anyway, some kind of like alien life here on the forest floor, but so neat when you come across it. Came to check on the little tree that I planted across the stream, and it turns out that somebody was nibbling on it, having breakfast or I don't know what. Probably have to put a fence or a little cage around it to protect it. Yes, these are hydrangeas. I don't know if they were, I don't know, planted here on purpose, or if Mother Nature just somehow did her thing. I know that they do grow wild, so that's a possibility. Life, even in the wintertime. Fascinating. They're just so magical looking. All this beautiful moss and these beautiful mushrooms, shelfies. came out here to check on the trees that I had planted, as well as look for interesting things like the mushrooms you see growing on this beautiful dead tree. You know, life in the forest is constant and constantly evolving and changing, and I think it's a beautiful representation of existence. Pretty enlightening. Anyhow, I wanted to talk to you about something that is pretty normal in my life, and I want to see what your opinions are, if you've ever experienced anything like this, as far as sensitivities in sleep state, or sensitivities, and forgive me, I do have gloves on, so you might see my hand. It's cold out here. Sensitivities that you might find you are experiencing. And what I mean by sensitivities, what I mean by that is when you're asleep, or when you're half asleep, half awake, there's this moment when everything falls away and you become sensitive to, I want to say, the spiritual world or the ethereal plane. I don't want to say paranormal because that's not where I'm going with this, but I want to say you're more in touch and in tune with your higher self during that moment. When we're in prayer or deep meditation, we become sensitive to our higher self, or to the vibrations of a spiritual realm. We're able to receive information, receive knowing, gnosis, and things that in our physical everyday humdrum, 9 to 5 busy life, we become slightly closed off to. And that's just normal. We're more grounded when we're, in our busy life, our work life, our daily day-to-day. But when we're half in and half out of sleep, or when we're in dream state, when we're in prayer, when we're in meditation, we're lifting that barrier off of ourselves and allowing ourselves to be more sensitive to our own knowing, our own intuition, our own higher self. Maybe, the guidance of spirit guides, or maybe ancestors, whatever it is that you believe. Okay. Me personally, I become sensitive the most when I'm, in prayer, meditation, sometimes even trance. I become the most sensitive when I'm doing tarot even. It allows me to open up. It allows me to connect. And I am highly sensitive during semi-sleep state, okay? When you're in between that space of falling asleep, but yet you're still awake. So I'm wondering if any of you experience things during this sensitive time, okay? When you're able to drop your ego a little bit and tap into something otherworldly. I personally, last night, experienced something that isn't out of the norm for me. I usually receive messages as I'm falling asleep. They don't feel like my own. Perhaps they are just my higher self speaking to me. But most of the time, it's things that I wouldn't normally know. How could I possibly know this if I've never come across it, if I've never seen it, if I've never heard of it? Last night I received pieces of information that I would not have known otherwise. Lo and behold, I Google it, and there it is. Never seen it, never heard of it, never seen it talked about before on a forum or on a blog, nothing. Let alone, I'm thinking, oh, this is, where the hell did this come from? But okay, so I Googled it, and sure enough, it exists, and it exists exactly in the state that it had told me it existed. Whatever this was speaking to me, whether it be a spirit guide or just me tapping into my higher self, my higher knowing, maybe on some subconscious level I knew about it, I don't know. But it is kind of freaky. And at the same time, synchronicity confirms these things or these messages that I receive in my sensitive states. Synchronicity in the outer world will confirm these things to you if you're open enough to see, if you're receptive enough to actually receive the information and apply it the way it's being given to you. I don't know what to call this. All I know is that whenever I've received information, maybe downloaded information, if some of you want to call it that, whenever I've received or downloaded information, it's always, I say 90% on point. And it's never steered me wrong. I've just followed the cookie crumbs that I've been given. I've also had them confirmed with, like I said, with synchronicity. And I've been able, through my journey, been able to discern synchronicity. Those that are organic and from the universe, and those that I feel are of an artificial nature. And artificial intelligence does play with us in that way. I'll give you an example. It does confuse us from what is true, universal, I think, spirit synchronicity versus artificial intelligence synchronicity. I'll give you an example what that is. If you are searching on your phone for a product, right, earlier that day, and then, you know, the next day at work, on your work computer, you see an ad on the side of your Yahoo screen, for example, for that same product you were looking at on your phone. Is that a synchronicity? Probably not. That's AI. That's artificial intelligence. That is highly, or, you know, there's a vast difference there. And some of us get caught up following the cookie crumbs that are artificial. We need to start tapping into ourselves enough to know better and enough to know the difference. But last night, that was the universe talking to me and telling me, or giving me a tidbit of information that I would have not known otherwise. So of course, out of curiosity, I Google and I find what it is that I was told. So I want to say, I'm going to close this out by saying, if you receive messages, if you receive information in a sensitive state, okay, one of your sensitive states, whatever those are to you. Some of you may even find that sensitive state during exercise, okay, because it releases a lot of stress and things like that. But if you receive a message or some kind of piece of information that just comes to your mind, don't discredit it. Don't discount it, because it could be that the universe is trying to reach you or trying to share something with you that you may need along your journey. Don't discredit it. Don't think you're going crazy or you're hearing voices or something like that. I don't think that that's what it is. I think that you're just, you just have your walls dropped and you're able to access something that you really needed at that time. So don't ignore it. Follow the way you're being led. Help or allow synchronicity to lead you and to confirm these things to you. But I encourage any of you to share your experiences where you might have had something like this happen. And it is crazy. It is freaky. It is, wow. You know, I'm still reeling off of it right now. I'm floored, to be honest. But if this shows me that I'm connected, then I have to accept it. Share with me your experiences if you've had any. You know, if you've had sensitive moments where you've received something and just followed it. Even if it's crazy sounding, even if it doesn't make sense to you. If you followed it, I'm curious. I don't want to feel like I'm alone in this, I guess is what I'm trying to say. I know I'm not the only one that experiences things like this. And I guess this is me on this channel just trying to find my tribe, and trying to connect with people who are of like mind and spirit and are open-minded enough. So please share with me, let me know. If you have any topics that you would like me to bring up, or like me to discuss, please recommend them to me. I'm always excited to hear your thoughts and to share with you guys. I'd love to see what you would like to discuss as well. So this channel is not only about me, you know, or me and my journey. This is about, you know, connecting with others and sharing in this journey together. So I'm going to end it here. Much love and blessings to everybody watching. I will see you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.